Are we live? Check, 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 check.
We live. We live.
Yes, sir.
That and with that out the way, hello everyone and welcome back to an episode of Lunch and Debates. I am the co-host Dibo and with my other two co-hosts Matt and Owen.
Man, good to be back. Good to be back. A lot has happened since we were last here.
You're damn right, dude. Holy.
Yeah, a lot of things, big news, big moves happening around the sports world during our absence. But hey, with this episode, we're here to cover everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're here for it.
Now, we could have been like everybody else and done that overreaction video when all the hype and animosity is there after a trade, but I think taking a little bit of time off, staying with our normal schedule allowed us to kind of take a bird's eye view over this, if you want to say, and analyze it in a better way.
So what Matt was saying was that we were way too busy, so we were forced to record at a later time. That's what he was saying.
Pretty much.
Maybe, yeah.
But that's a good example as well. That is part of our reasoning too. That as well. So that's why.
Yeah, you know.
But outside of that, I know we all been busy. How you guys doing though?
Doing good, dude.
Doing all right. We doing all right. Owen, you trying to go first?
I'm got a whole lot to say other than Friday tomorrow, and I'm happy about that. But yeah, chilling.
Amen to that. What about you, Dibo?
Hey man, school's been cooking me all these projects. I got mad video assignments to do, presentations already. We already early in the semester, so hey, we a lot like with school alongside this as well. You know, we just gotta lock in. That's all we gotta do.
I was gonna say
that's all we can. That's all we can.
We're early in the semester, but we also only got like 2 months left.
That is true.
Yeah, it's funny how it works like that.
Yeah. So, I mean that's like the optimistic view, I think, but the last 2 months are also a grind. So you gotta be ready for that.
Man, that should be horrible. It's so.
No, it do. I have midterms coming up and stuff, and I'm like, I feel like we just got back in school.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
That's how it goes every year, though. Man, what can you do about that? Yeah, but one more thing before we get to our segments for the day. Matt, how about Man United, man?
How about Man United, man? What do you want me to say? You want me to talk about what needs to happen? You want me to talk about how I feel as a fan? What you want me to talk about?
The floor is yours, man. Speak your piece.
All right. Actually, I do appreciate this because everybody that is in my DMs and always hitting me up after we blow another lead or after we lose another game, I'll refer them to come to 325 of the Lunchroom Debates podcast. And here's what I have to say. Man United need to sack Erik ten Hag, but we need to wait till the end of the year to do it. I understand that the results aren't coming in right now that we want, and we're losing these games, but it doesn't make sense to do it now. It's just like throwing gas onto an already started fire. We saw what happened with Chelsea last year when Tuchel wasn't getting the results. They fired Thomas Tuchel, brought in Graham Potter. He lasted like 4 months maybe. Then they bring in Frank Lampard, and they're the laughing stock of the league. They're a giant mess. I think right now the best thing to do is honestly just keep Ten Hag. Like over half of our starting 11 is players that he brought in the transfer window, and I think if you sack him, you're gonna lose all of those players' confidence. You're gonna lose the locker room even more so than they've already been lost. And you're not gonna be able to bring in a high level elite coach like the ones that will be available in the summer, right? Like most of the there's not a lot of free agent coaches right now, if any. Like it might just be Zidane, and he's probably not ever going to come to Man United. But if you wait till the summer, you could maybe potentially poach a guy like De Zerbi from Brighton, who I would love. Or you might be able to get Thomas Frank from Brentford. So, like, I think you have to keep Ten Hag for the end of the year. Just One, to keep the locker room at least stable. I mean, Manu just have had no stability over the last couple of years, so I think even just keeping a face like Ten Hag keeps it more stable than sacking him. And I think just the coaches that we might be able to get. I don't think we're hiring an intern and we're gonna have an Ole Gunnar situation where the intern comes in and goes 8 games without losing. Just 8 wins, rattles them off. I don't think we're gonna have like that again. So to me, I really don't see a point of it. I think you just got to keep Ten Hag and ride out the season. See what you have.
Hey man, speaking of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, man, he's still available. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
We got
Ole's
higher
at the
hopes
real,
than that.
right? He's at the real, right? Ole.
No, we need the Zerbi. The Zerbi's the only dude who could save Man United. Really.
Hey,
you know how I
bro.
feel about Brighton too, Dibo.
That's true.
You know how highly I
Brighton.
rate them.
I love the movement they've been planning ahead for these past couple seasons. Fun team to watch. Hey, shout out Matoma though. Keep on for my fantasy team.
He'll be on a Manchester team soon though. Either City or Man U. I heard they're both interested.
Boy, that man probably going for like at least 80 at this point.
No, he's gonna go for 100. If it's a January move, he's going for 100.
For 100. Hey, man, salute to him.
But if we want to include Owen into the conversation, maybe we should talk about some basketball, Dibo.
Yes, immediately, because Owen. No offense to you, Owen, but putting Owen in conversations about soccer or football would be like putting in a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. So no, it wouldn't mix.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, it wouldn't mix. So we got to move on to today's show, and with our main segments today, of course, we're gonna all say a reaction about the Dame to Milwaukee trade, as well as the Jrue Holiday to Boston trade. Get a little bit of NBA action out the way. We've been missing that for so long. NBA around the corner, and we can't wait for that. The Boston Celtics will win the championship this year. I can't wait for that. And yeah, but
sure,
let me move along. Then, of course, with the NFL season, we're gonna have our winners and losers for Week 4, and give our predictions for Week 5 as well.
Lovely. I heard lunchroom debate supporters are rejoicing now that they're talking about the best sport and sports league.
That basketball?
No,
in the NBA.
Basketball.
It's just obvious at this point, Dibo. It's just clear. I know that NFL might be producing the numbers, but NBA is just a more entertaining league at this point.
As a better product.
Well said.
I mean, off the court or field drama, NBA blows it out the water by far. But when it comes to being like on the product stuff, or like rivalries, marketing big name players and teams, I just think
that's
NFL
NBA.
does that better.
No, marketing players is definitely NBA. I mean, look how big
man.
Like of a platform the NBA players have compared to NFL.
Oh yeah, you see, like, even just in commercials, you see a lot more NBA players than NFL players.
But it's also like LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry and all these players, even Steve Kerr, they always will speak out on these like social justice issues. We saw Colin Kaepernick do it once, and what's happened to him?
That was a curveball.
But I mean, that's also what I mean with the platform. Like these NFL players, they go to press conferences. The questions are solely about the game. These NBA players go to press conferences. They're talking about politics. They're talking about stuff that's happening in the real world. They're talking about the game. They're talking about other teams. They're talking about trade scenarios. Like they just have so much more coverage.
That is true. In the NFL, if a player speaks out about like gun violence or like police brutality, Black Lives Matter, stuff like that, they immediately get pressed. They immediately get pressed by like right wingers, like MAGA people, and it's just the truth, to be honest. And I don't know if it's like around the league's culture, which it kind of is. But hey man, that's an unfortunate part about the NFL. But that's a good point with what you said, man. But I just feel like with the overall product, like maintaining all the key elements like of the certain sport. I just think that NFL does it like a lot better than the NBA, in my opinion.
That's fair. I mean, we are seeing the NBA kind of struggle with regular season stuff, at least, like to the point where they're trying to have to implement an in-season tournament just to get players to try harder. So I think that that's definitely an argument you can make against the product for NBA is that their players aren't carrying during the regular season, definitely as much as NFL players are. But if we're talking playoff ball, they're both equally entertaining. I'd have to say.
I go with the NFL. I go with the NFL for sure. But we gotta move on to the actual show right now. I know, man.
Please.
We'll have a debate. We'll have a full segment with that debate someday, and I can't wait for it. But with
The
that
debate
being said,
episode.
we gotta move on. That's true. We gotta move on though still. And our first segment, of course, one of the biggest moves in this entire NBA offseason, the biggest move probably, and that's Damian Lillard to the Milwaukee Bucks.
What a bomb, dude. That was a Woj bomb when it happened.
Elite Woj bomb.
After so much hype for these past few months about,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to Miami, and then out of nowhere, it's like, boom, he's going to Milwaukee.
Yeah, we all thought he would go to Miami for sure. I mean, the writing was too good. The script was too good, but Adam Silver and the rest of the NBA, those higher up people, they was like, "Hey, we're gonna throw a curveball on y'all," man, bro. Now, of course, the Bucks they got their guy, and
sure did.
Moving along with the trade details, the Bucks, of course, they only received Lillard. The Portland Trailblazers in the trade, they received Jrue Holiday, DeAndre Ayton, Tumani Kamara, the Bucks 2029 unprotected first round pick, and swap rights on the Bucks 2028 and 2030 picks. And alongside that, the Suns were involved in this trade, and they get Yusuf Nurkic in the deal alongside Grayson Allen, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. Which, by the way, Keon Johnson last week was released by Phoenix. And so were you about to say something, Owen?
No, I was going to throw a little jab and just be like, who? But
I mean, hey, you said it, not me. But
right.
Moving on to my question for this segment: Are the Milwaukee Bucks, favorites to win this year's title?
No, not a chance. And my reasoning behind that is because they still have to prove that they're better than the Nuggets. I mean, as we sit right here right now, Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo have not played a single game together. You can't make any sort of, judgments on that until they've played at least probably half the season. About that time, I would say you can probably shift the odds if they do look better than the Nuggets.
I'm sorry, boys. You know it's not enough unless I have some technical difficulties going on.
Well,
That's
welcome
true.
back.
To the audience, our fault. Our guy Matt, his recording software is obviously on the 97 Windows computer. It's very slow, barely working, beaten down, sputters from time to time. So our apologies on that.
Yeah, I basically got this computer from like the Grandview Tech Lab. But where were we? What were you guys talking about with this?
Shout out Grandview High School.
Here's the question, Matt. Here's the question.
Yes, sir.
With Damian Lillard to the Bucks, are they the new favorites to win the championship?
Hold on. That's a great question. Can I ask you a different question first? Let's talk about Portland's, or do we want to talk about the Bucks aspect, or do we want to talk about Portland first?
No one cares
let's talk about Milwaukee. Let's talk about Milwaukee's aspect first.
Okay. So then Milwaukee, Are they the championship favorite? Is that the question you
That is
asked,
the
right?
question.
Yes, that is what we both
Out the
said.
East, yes. Out the league, no.
Good answer.
Out the league, no. I still have Nuggets number one. I do
Okay.
think I was telling Andrew this the other day. I think Nuggets will have a championship hangover regular season wise. Jamal Murray obviously had offseason surgery on his knee. Jokic, he wasn't playing a ton of basketball in Serbia. Not that he needs to. Let's be honest, not that he needs to. But I could see them having a championship hangover in a sense like that. They kind of start the first couple of weeks of the NBA season a little slow. I do think that they will obviously pick it up and be in championship form by the end of the season, but I could see them coming out slow in the beginning of the year. But I still think that this Nuggets team just has to be respected as the number one team. I mean, outside of losing Bruce Brown, they're basically bringing back the same team. I would argue, I mean, maybe them and the Celtics probably have the two top five starting lineup or the top two starting lineups in the league right now. So I think the Bucks are the favorites out the East. I think it's between them and the Celtics, but I think that they have the star power to overcome the Celtics. And then I think the Nuggets are the title contenders of the league.
There you go.
All right,
Here
all right,
first.
all right. In my eyes, the Nuggets again. They're the favorites. I'm sorry, Milwaukee. Dame, Giannis, they could possibly be the best duo in the entire league. Off their talent alone, that pick and roll is going to be nasty. But at the same time,
good.
man, we just haven't seen it in like visually with our own eyes. And as of now, with what we saw during the postseason, especially during the finals, Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic, easily the best duo in the entire league by far. And with their losses, like Matt said, only losing Bruce Brown, and even then, key young guys like Christian Brown, and even a guy like Payne Watson, they got from the second round last year as a rookie. They could possibly step up. They could take another leap as solid role players. And you look at the rest of their roster. Of course, Michael Malone, one of the best coaches in the entire league, top 10, possibly top 5. Aaron Gordon, one of the best defenders in the entire league, one of the best. One of the best one of the best two-way players. Thank you, man. MPJ, never swing the rock. Porter Jr.
Best spot-up shooter in the league.
Oh,
Hey,
Desmond Bain exists.
I don't got the stats to back that up with what
he's
Owen
up there
said
though.
with this
He's up
claim.
there though.
Yeah,
I
he's up there for sure.
believe I saw a stat that Michael Porter Jr. on wide open threes is the most efficient 3-point shooter. And it's like by a significant margin.
You know, he's getting a lot of wide open ones too, because he plays with Jokic.
Yeah.
Right. And you add all those pieces together, man. Like you can't count this Nuggets team out. I know a lot of people doubt about the Nuggets potentially being a dynasty, let alone going back to the chip this season. But the continuity they have, the star power they have, the superstar they have, the coaching they have, but you just can't ignore that. And if this Nuggets team stays for a long time, which they possibly will, we could possibly be seeing the next dynasty in the NBA.
No, Dibo, I think you hit it on the head with the continuity part, because you remember last year a lot of people were talking about the Suns maybe overcoming the Nuggets and the Lakers overcoming the Nuggets, but at the end of the day, it kind of was that chemistry that took over. The Nuggets had been assembled for longer. They had more experience with their system, more experience with one another, and it really showed against the Lakers and the Suns. And when you talk about Milwaukee Bucks, you have a first-year head coach in Adrian Griffin. He's going to have to take some time to implement his system. It's Dame and Giannis, although two great players will always work together. They're still going to need some time to work together. Chris Middleton's going to have to figure out how to get his scoring done in that time. And you look at that, and while it might look good on paper, there's still some question marks. Versus when you look at the Nuggets, it's like all those question marks are answered. Everybody knows their role. Everybody understands the part they play in the system. The system is the same. the coaching staff understands the players, and the players understand what the coaching staff wants. And overall, it's just that continuity, that chemistry is at a higher level than basically any other team in the association.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. And I said it before in a previous episode when we didn't have our faces recorded, but I said that last year it was finals or bust for this Nuggets team, and the reason why was that I said that they were the team in the Western Conference that had the most team chemistry and continuity without any injuries involving their team. And you look through that entire conference, right? The Clippers, they obviously were injury prone. The Warriors, they had. That's true. The Clippers, I said Clippers. The Warriors, the Poole Draymond situation, that kind of was a big thing going around with that team the whole season, and also they missed Curry for a big portion of that as well, with Wiggins being out because of personal issues. Who else? The Lakers, of course. LeBron was injured, AD was hurt, and around the trade deadline, they basically traded their whole entire roster, completely building a new one. The Suns, obviously, the KD trade, them basically shipping out their entire depth and bench overall for the superstar player, and also with the Kim getting hurt as well, Kevin Durant. Them having to deal with that. And so with all these teams I said, only the Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings, those were the only two teams in the West that had the continuity that throughout the entire year.
But I would even argue Nuggets had more continuity than the Kings, because if you remember, although Mike Brown won Coach of the Year and he was a phenomenal coach, he was a first-year head coach. Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox had only been together for like 3 months because he got traded in the second half of the season before. They brought in guys like Malik Monk and Keegan Murray, obviously had an enormous role as a rookie. But with this Broncos team, it was really like,
Nuggets.
It was like, thank you.
Got him.
But with this Nuggets team, it was like the really only key additions were KCP, who KCP is a dude who always knows his role. So it's like, yeah, he's been traded, but he's a vet. He's been around the block. He knows what to do. It was Bruce Brown, who was the sixth man, who throughout the year, his role progressed, especially after the Bones Highland trade. And it was Christian Braun, who just kept on getting opportunity after impressing. And so it's like the majority of the roster was already constructed. And then it's like, if you wanted more minutes, you had to earn it. And the players who earned it obviously deserved it, and they showed why.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. But I don't know if this is a hot take. I honestly don't know how to gauge this take. But in my opinion, at least, I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are closer, or I think that the Milwaukee Bucks are closer to the Boston Celtics than they are to the Denver Nuggets.
No, but by far, clearly.
I think that's a good take. I think that's a good take.
By far. Okay. Yeah, by far.
That's a good way of putting it,
on that one. No, not at all.
Okay. And the reason I say it is because, I mean, we'll get into it with the Jrue Holiday trade, but I think a lot of us are maybe a little sketched out by the Celtics bench and the Celtics depth at the moment. But to me, if you look at this Milwaukee depth, I don't think enough people have been questioning it. I mean, because right now, I mean, it looks like Pat Connaughton is going to be their starting shooting guard. He was one of their key rotational guys off the bench. So right now it's like you have Bobby Portis as your sixth man. Javon Carter has a nice, solid backup point guard.
Oh no, Javon Carter, he's
in Chicago.
He's on the Bucks. I said Bucks. He's on the Bulls.
Yeah, you're right. So then we have Javon Carter. They brought back Jay Crowder. So you have two guys off the bench that like you're okay with. And we saw Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder had a very limited role last year with this team.
Because he was not good.
Exactly.
Yeah. And to build off of what you were saying, man, I'm just going through this Milwaukee bench right now. They currently have Cameron Payne, who they just signed, Malik Beasley coming off the bench as a scorer. I don't know how he's going to do in the playoffs. Obviously, with the Lakers last year, he got very limited minutes during the postseason. Jay Crowder, like you said, Bobby Portis as their sixth man, Robin Lopez, and veteran piece off the bench, and Marjan Beauchamp.
Yeah.
I believe I pronounced that right. If I didn't, I apologize. But him as well, young piece, state to Scott from the first round. I believe last year or the year before. I am not
Last year.
Okay, last year. Thank you.
Um.
Yeah, and so with their bench right now, they only have probably one player that can play that's like a wing defender that can play defensively. Crowder as well too, but again, I don't think he would be a big impact in a playoff scenario. So their bench have a lot of questions.
You're not gonna shout out Owen's guy?
Who's Owen's guy?
He got drafted this year. Former Wildcat.
Ty Washington?
No, not Wildcat. Bulldog.
Jrue Timmy?
Jrue Timmy.
Jrue Timmy on the Bucks? Oh, he is on the Bucks. Yeah, I see him. I see Jrue Timmy. Okay. I see Jrue Timmy.
Shout out Jrue Timmy, man.
No, but the Milwaukee Bucks are a buyout team to me. They're gonna either be making a move around the deadline, or when somebody gets bought out, they'll try to bring them in. Because they obviously need to bolster that bench.
Yeah, we've seen the benches or teams without benches don't really work.
Yeah.
Fundamental flaw.
All right. Should we move on to the next segment?
Yeah. Yep. Oh, wait. Can we talk? Or I guess next segment we could talk about the Blazers as well.
Right.
So let's go.
Moving on inside the NBA. The Jrue Holiday trade, of course. With that, the Celtics receive Jrue Holiday, obviously, and Portland, they receive Malcolm Brogdon, Robert Williams, a 2024 first-round pick the Celtics had from the Warriors, and the Celtics 2029 first-rounder.
Now, can we talk about the Blazers?
You think they're going to be somewhere other than where they were last season?
Wait, no, not yet. I have a question for Boston first. Then we can move on to Portland.
Go for it.
Then we can move on to Portland. Okay, so my question for this segment is that can the Boston Celtics make it out the Eastern Conference this season?
I have them making it out the Eastern Conference this season. I do.
My guy. My guy.
I think that a lot of people are trying to. Hold on. So first and foremost, can we talk about this Jrue Holiday to Marcus Smart comparison that I've been seeing on Instagram? Like sure, I've been seeing a lot of people being like, "Oh, the Boston Celtics got their Marcus Smart type player back," and I understand that they're both defensive monsters when it comes to perimeter defense and stuff like that, but are we really going to say that Jrue Holiday is the same caliber of player as Marcus Smart? Like,
are you trying to say Marcus Smart's a better player than
No. I understood how that sounds. Like Jrue Holiday is far better. To me, Jrue Holiday doesn't make those dumb mistakes. Jrue Holiday brings veteranship. He brings leadership, which Marcus Smart brings to an extent, but I think that Jrue Holiday brings as a championship pedigree. He's obviously been at that level and won a ring. But I think while Marcus Smart might bring a little bit more on the defensive end, I think Jrue Holiday might bring a little more on the offensive end. And I think that might matter considering you have guys like Derek White, you have guys like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown who can make up for that defense. Not that you'll even need to make up Jrue Holiday's defense. I think that Jrue Holiday is good enough on his own.
So you're just talking about you don't know if Jrue Holiday will bring the effort Marcus Smart brings?
No. What I'm saying is, look, like, sure, you can say effort. I would say like the intangibles that Marcus Smart brings, especially to like a locker room. But I think talent-wise, they're just significantly better. Like significantly better. I think that Jrue Holiday is a force. We obviously saw what he did 2 years ago in the finals. Like, he was probably the third best player on his team in the finals that they won. And I don't know if we're ever going to see Marcus Smart be the third best player on a finals winning team, on a
Well, I
championship
don't
team.
think so. I definitely don't think so.
No.
So that
His offensive limitations just are not there, or
Right.
are playing a big factor rather.
Right. And you talk about Jrue Holiday, like, this is a dude who's comfortable being on ball as well as being off ball. You look to his time in Milwaukee. Obviously, Chris Middleton was closing out games. You had Giannis playing point forward for a good majority of the game. So, to me, the fit with Boston seems kind of smart. Obviously, you have Tatum bringing up the ball quite a bit. Derek White obviously plays some point guard. Jaylen Brown likes to ball handle every now and then. So it's like his fit should be there offensively. And then defensively, he doesn't have to do anything that he hasn't already been doing.
Yeah. On you want to go?
No, I think you should.
Hey, man.
Yeah,
shoot.
Celtics fans should have gone first if we're being honest.
Hey, fair enough.
You know
man,
the
fair
most
enough.
about your team.
Fair enough. And with my thoughts on this trade, Holiday for Smart, obviously that's an upgrade. I think we can all agree about that. Marcus Smart, well, I do love him at times, even though I have openly discussed my criticism about him over the years with the both of you guys and with the rest of our friend group. But with that being said, he is one of my favorite Celtics players of all time by far, and I'm going to miss him on when he plays for the Memphis Grizzlies this year, which is going to be very, very weird to me. But with that being out the way, With that being said, my fault. Holiday, while he's not the most ideal player to be your point guard, especially with his playmaking and with his age, him being 33, I think he'll possibly turn 34 within this season. So he's obviously declining with his age and his defensive ability, which we can't ignore what just happened in last year's playoffs against the Heat in that first round. I mean, Jimmy Butler, who was the primary defender that whole series on Jimmy Butler?
It was
Jrue Holiday.
Yeah,
it was Jrue Holiday.
Hold on, but Jimmy Butler is way bigger than Jrue Holiday is. That was a mismatch from the get-go. I don't think you can pin that blame on Jrue Holiday.
And I don't think that
guards his position, not
yeah.
people.
On top of that, I think there's two things. I think one, we have seen Jrue Holiday guard those type of players that Jimmy Butler builds in the past. I just don't think that necessarily at 33, like Dibo mentioned, that's what he should be doing. And I think that's why being on the Celtics is honestly a positive thing, because Jrue Holiday on a point guard is still, you're winning the matchup defensively. Like, Jrue Holiday is still a plus defender when he's guarding a point guard. But now you have Tatum, who's one of the more elite wing defenders. You have Jaylen Brown, who still has this high defensive upside. You still have Derek White,
I'm sorry.
You just have Derek White, who made an all-defensive team.
I want to cut you off so bad when you
go
talking
ahead,
about Jaylen Brown. That was your only mistake. Jaylen Brown is not a plus defender.
That's why I said high. No, I didn't say plus defender.
Like you said, high potential.
I said high potential.
We're still not seeing that upside with JB, man. I don't know, bro. It's just
we're not. But I try to phrase it in a good way so I could sell the Celtics.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but I just wanted to get that out the way.
No, you're good.
My point
but that's what I'm saying though, is you have like this all defensive team defender in Derek White. You also have Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. So it's like you have good defenders basically 1 through 5. Jrue Holiday's no longer having to defend. What is Jimmy Butler? 6'7"? A 6'7" Jimmy Butler when he's also only 6'4". He can actually be guarding point guards now, which is to the benefit of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. Because now you have your Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that can guard players like Jimmy Butler instead.
Mm-hmm.
But similar to the Milwaukee Bucks, and then Dibo, maybe you want to talk about this. With the Kristaps Porzingis trades and with the Jrue Holiday trade, the Celtics bench now is also kind of lacking. Their depth is lacking, similar to the
Yeah, they
Milwaukee
got rid of
Bucks.
Malcolm Brogdon. That's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Malcolm
And Robert Williams, and they lost Grant Williams over the summer. Are you a little worried about their depth? Because who's coming off the bench right now? You for sure have like Al Horford and Peyton Pritchard.
Okay, Derek White is our sixth man as of now on the depth chart. I do believe Al Horford will be our starting five next to Porzingis, who will be the starting four. To wrap up our bench, the rest of our bench, Sam Hauser, then Ochai, Brissett, Lamar Stevens.
Right.
We just signed Wenyen Gabriel and Payne Pritchard and Delano Banton.
So it's like hoping one of them take a jump.
Yeah. Oh, and also Jordan Walsh. I forgot to mention him as well. We got him from Arkansas in this year's draft, which I believe out of those guys I mentioned, he's the guy I'm expecting to take the biggest leap out of all of them, or at least be like contribute early.
Nah. Rookies are hard to make like a significant impact. For me, the guy that I think, I don't want to play the white card here, but I'll take Peyton Pritchard.
Bro, you picked the wrong white dude. Hauser would have been better for that description.
No, I just think from Peyton Pritchard's perspective, we remember earlier in the year, or not earlier like in the year, but last year, he was on Iggy and Evan Turner's podcast, basically like saying like, yeah, I don't know if I'll be in Boston next year. I want a bigger role. And like, now is your role. You obviously have the keys to the starting backup position. No longer is the point guard ahead of you, the sixth man of the year. Like, now it's basically just you and Jrue Holiday on the point guard depth chart. I think that he's more of a shot chucking type of guy. So I think that he might lead the bench in scoring. And then back to what you said about Al Horford starting. Kristaps Porzingis has to play the five, dude. I'm sorry. The dude is what, like 7'1", 7'2"?
He's
I'm sorry, but that's not his position. That's not his position.
He played it last year. Bro. He played it last year with the Wizards.
That's not his main position. I'm sorry. It's not his main position. I think with our bigs, I think we put Porzingis at the 4, and then out at the 5. But that could possibly change this year. When you look at the Lakers, right, with Vando and AD, AD he's been saying that he doesn't want to be sorry, whoa, he doesn't want to be played at the 5, but obviously last year, especially in the playoffs, he was at the 5 and Vando was at the 4. So that could possibly change this year.
But they won a championship with AD at the 5. I know JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard got some minutes at the starting center position that year, but like, if you remember I think it was the first round against the Trailblazers, and then the second round against the Bubble Rockets when PJ Tucker was their starting center, AD was running the 5. And AD should be a 5. Like, I understand that these big men want to play 4s, but at the end of the day, you got to look. Like, Kristaps is 7'3". He's 7'3". There's no reason that he should not be justified to be allowed to stand on the 3-point arc and just chuck up threes. Like, he should be in the paint. He should be getting these rebounds. He should be going back up with it. And he should be a stretch 5. Imagine the stretchability, because that's where the modern NBA is going. Like, I understand Al Horford has this defensive promise and leadership on the court, but if you can space the floor with 2 guards like Derek White and Jrue Holiday, you have the switchability with the wings like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and then you could have the stretchability with a 5 like Porzingis. That's what the modern NBA starting 5 should be built like. It shouldn't be built with these 2 twin towers anymore. That's like 2010s ball.
Yeah, I agree.
Man, he said it, not me. I'm just relaying the information to y'all.
Is that what Joe Mazzulla said? That's what he said the starting lineup's going to be?
Well, pretty much, yeah. That's what it's on the depth chart as well, so that's what we're going off of, right?
That's fair.
And with that said, Matt recounts his position and now thinks the Bucks are coming out of the East.
No, I would still have the Celtics. I honestly think if those two match up, I think Jrue Holiday might have like a low key revenge series. Now, and I say low key, like he would play good defense on Dame, and he'd be like a 14, 15 point per game scorer on offense.
Yeah.
Right. Hey man, both Derek White and Jrue on Dame in that backcourt. Sag off Connaughton, let him shoot in the corner or whatever on the court, and also focus on Giannis as well, especially with an improved front court player in Porzingis.
Now, if you play the Bucks, you might have to start Horford and Porzingis. That might be like a matchup.
I'm pretty sure we will. We've always started two bigs against the Bucks in the playoffs. Going back to the 2018 first round series, it was Baines and Horford as those two bigs. Again, during those two, during those, shoot, I'm tripping. In 2019, we did the same thing with both Baines and Horford. And then obviously the most recent one in 2022, it was Rob at the 4, Robert Williams, and then Al at the 5. So we will always start two bigs against the Bucks. It's almost a given at this point.
The Celtics just need to bolster that front court depth. I mean, like previous years, when Rob Williams would go out with an injury, you'd have guys like Al Horford being able to step up. You'd have guys like Grant Williams. Even Luke Cornett could give you serviceable minutes every now and then. But it's like now you really have Porzingis and Al Horford as your 1 and 2, and that's basically it. And we know Porzingis also, outside of last year has injury concern. We know Al Horford with his increasing age has injury concern. So that I think the depth would help out the Celtics if they can make one more move.
Yeah, and we also have Wenyen Gabriel, who we recently just signed, and Nimas Keita. Those two we recently signed as well. I don't think they'll have that big of an impact, but I just want to get that out there. But I don't know. Dwight Howard. Hey, Dwight Howard, man. Hey.
You'd accept Dwight Howard?
Let's make a deal. I love
that's crazy, Dibo. Dwight Howard before Boogie?
I'd rather have Dwight.
No,
that's crazy.
I'd rather have Dwight.
Boogie's better at the moment.
Boogie's so nice.
Better than Dwight Howard?
Dwight Howard's not doing anything in Taiwan. At least Boogie's putting like up something in Puerto Rico.
Man, Howard the way better defender, and I'm sorry. I take Dwight. Yeah. You need all we need is a big that can defend for like 10, 15 minutes.
But if you want to throw,
I'd rather have Howard.
If you want to throw like a first round pick to the Nuggets for DeAndre Jordan, I heard they're selling.
I'm good with Jordan. I don't think he's. He hasn't been good defensively in like years, very long time. Unfortunately.
Would you take Jericho Sims?
No.
Ooh, he'd be a nice backup 5 for you, I think personally. I actually would endorse that move.
So anything to keep Knicks relevant.
Anything less than a 2028, 2029 second rounder, like I'm not worried.
Fair.
For Jericho Sims, no.
He's a solid backup big.
Too much. I mean, I agree with you too. I like Jericho Sims, but no.
All right. So let's get into Blazer talk then. So at the end of the trade, once all the trading has been done, the Blazers were able to turn Damian Lillard into DeAndre Ayton, Rob Williams, Malcolm Brogdon, and 3 first-round picks, if I'm correct, plus more pick swaps and second-round picks. What do you guys think about the Blazers package, though? Do you have any different hopes for them? Do you think that they made the right move? Do you think that they should have gone with the Heat package? I know Shams reported a little after the trade that the Heat actually offered a package of, I think it was Tyler Hero, Jovic, and 3 firsts plus swaps. So would you rather have done the Blazers package or that one?
I would have rather Yeah. I've honestly would have rather done the Heat, bro. Getting both Jovic and Hero as well as three better first rounders. Like, I don't know about that one. I just feel like with the whole process the Blazers had going into this deal involving Dame, I just think they're being mad petty. You don't treat your franchise player like that. You don't treat a top three player that's you don't treat a top three Blazer like that at all. Like you know how like think about how much good he's done for his Blazers organization over the past like decade now, and for you to not only disregard his trade request to move to the Heat, but just ignore that man and what he and like um not have any contact with him during the whole trade process was just it was just bad from a managerial standpoint.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's ridiculous to not take the Miami thing, but because like they were seeking Bam or Jimmy in their trade package for a Dame, which is absolutely absurd for a Portland team that is transitioning into a full-on rebuild. Like, you don't take one of those players if you're trying to rebuild.
But and I honestly don't understand why people are saying the Heat didn't have a great enough trade package to trade for Dame. I mean, look, 3 firsts as well as 2 young players. One of those young players in Tyler Hero, you've already seen him be an impactful player on a playoff title contending team. Like I just think that it was the better offer for them to take than Milwaukee's. I'm sorry.
Let me be the voice of the Blazers on this podcast then, I guess. If we take out the how you should treat players, because I do agree with Dibo. I do agree with what Dibo said, where if what I would say is the best player in franchise history. I know that there's an argument for other players, but whatever we say, a top 3 player in franchise history, a dude who's dedicated himself and been loyal to Portland, request out. But if you request out and he gives you a destination, you should trade him there. So if we're factoring that out, because I do agree with Debo, I actually like this Blazers package. Debo, do you remember what we were talking about initially when Dame first made his trade to the Blazers? You remember what I was saying about the Tyler Hero package?
Well, that it wasn't good enough.
It wasn't good enough. And here's why. Because you have a guy like Scoot Henderson. He's going to be your point guard for the next X amount of years. You have a guy like Shaedon Sharpe. He'll be your shooting guard. And you have a guy like Anthony Simons who can be your guard off the bench. You already have your guard core. So I understand what they're saying about bringing in a guy like Bam, because Bam is still relatively young. I think he's like 26 at this point, maybe. So bringing in a guy like Bam, maybe that brings your front court, because you already have your guard play solved. I think you have 3 young guards that can be enticing for the future, but you have no front court depth with Nurkic and Jeremy Grant, or at least front court youth. So to bring in a guy like DeAndre Ayton, who could use a change of scenery, and maybe he can blossom into something nice, like the first overall pick enticed you, like a guy like Robert Williams, who is still young and has showed promise on the defensive end, and when he's healthy, he's a top X defensive player in the league. And then you also bring in a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, who you might be able to, 1, either get assets for come trade deadline, or 2, he could just mentor your young point guard. It's Scoot Henderson. So for me, I actually like this Blazers package, because you address the team needs, you fit the timeline, and you also got the assets. Like, to me, I understand the Tyler Hero
Portland
trade.
Kishinevsky.
Like to me, I understand the Portland trade. But Dame is such a good player that I feel like you have to get something concrete for him. Like, sure, you're getting the draft capital of 3 first-round picks, but do you want the star player in a trade to be Tyler Hero?
That's true.
Like, for Dame,
Yeah.
I understand DeAndre Ayton isn't a much more enticing name than Tyler Hero, but DeAndre Ayton and Robert Williams might be able to move an organization to the point where hey, we have no front court youth play that fits our timeline. Maybe DeAndre in a new scene. Obviously, he's been wanting to leave Phoenix for a little bit. Maybe him in a new scenario can bring out Damian Ayton, as he likes to say.
But
Maybe
did y'all see the tattoo he had?
no.
Nah.
Did y'all see the tattoo? No, he got dominating on the back.
Oh, that's corny. I wouldn't do that.
So corny.
I wouldn't do that.
I mean, like I have high hopes for Aiden this season, but I don't know about that tattoo, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I also think, like, looking at it now, like the Blazers went from a position like of oh my god, Dame requested out, to we might have one of the best young cores in the league.
Mm-hmm. Which they absolutely do. I mean, right now, that trio of School, Simons, and Shane Sharp, man, that alone makes her one of the best young cores in the entire league already. So I do agree with that as well. And for them to bring alongside a guy like Aiden too, which we haven't seen him fully bloom and blossom during his time with Phoenix, but I believe that in a new scenario, in a non-toxic environment where he has, where media coverage won't be on him every week for his play, I think that'll be a game changer for him and could possibly lead towards him taking the leap this year.
I hope so. I actually do, because I remember when Aiden came into the league. I mean, a lot of people had Luka going one, but a lot of people also had Aiden going one. And you hope that this year you can see why people had him going one, because at the end of the day, there was a good player at Arizona and Aiden. There was a good player in that rookie year. There was an elite player when the Suns went on to that championship run, when he was catching alley-oops at the buzzer to win games and stuff like that. So if he can play that way, then the Blazers have a lot of hope.
Absolutely, and even with their big pairing alongside Time Lord, man, that could potentially be one of the best defensive big partnerships in the entire league for sure. The potential with that team is crazy, with their athletic ability, of course. That hopefully, as long as they stay healthy and stay focused throughout the entire year, look out defensively for that unit.
Hold on. Speaking about Porzingis wanting to play the 4, did you hear what DeAndre Ayton said?
Yeah, he wants to play the 4 as well.
And
earlier this year we were clowning that man for it. Unfortunately, we did a lot of clowning on Aiden. I'm not gonna lie, which it's kind of bad. But
this man DeAndre,
the whole media was clowning on him too.
Aiden got lunchroom debates a ton of views.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, he did. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
It was a good time for us back then.
Bro, it's still a good time for us right now, bro. Like
100%.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. Always 100%. A good time.
But what were you about to say, Owen?
Oh, I was just saying DeAndre is just a goofy guy. He's just a goofy dude. From whether it goes from that tattoo he got, just how he carries himself, he's just a goofy guy. And then what he thinks he is in the NBA versus what he actually is.
Hey, bet the over on DeAndre when he plays Phoenix this year. First game back in Phoenix.
Oh yeah, the revenge game's gonna be sweet.
He's gonna be hopefully, 13.
Hopefully he has a good game.
He's gonna shoot 13 for 30 from the field. Take every shot.
Oh, that Scoot Ayton pick and roll gonna go crazy.
Domin Aiden in the building, baby. Let's go.
Shout out.
Let's get it.
But yeah, I actually like the Blazers package. I might be alone in this one, but I'll happily send along. I'm a fan of it. I just think if you bring in Tyler Hero, it's just too much guard play. It's like, I understand, like, sure, like Tyler Hero right now, he would probably be the best player in the roster right now
I think you're undervaluing Simons as a player, and I think
Hero's better than Simons at this moment. You know how high I am on Simons too.
I think even if you think Hero's better than Simons, I think that the gap is closer than you think. To be honest with you.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. I'd agree with that. But I'd say even so, like you mentioned, Simons is. I mean, in your opinion, at least, like Simons is significantly closer to Hero, if not better than Hero already. So you already have him in your backcourt. We expect Shaden Sharp. He's this super exciting prospect. We think he's going to turn out nice.
Athletic freak.
Scoot Henderson was just the 3rd overall pick. Should have gone 2nd overall. And he looks like he's going to be very talented. And
But
then
leave Brandon Miller alone, bro. I just want to get that out the way.
Brandon Miller's solid, but Scoot should be 2nd. But it's like now you at least like you went from having Nurkic is already in his 30s, coming off some major injuries. Like you had literally no front court depth. Like Jrue Eubanks left this offseason, so it's really just Nurkic and Jeremy Grant, and I guess Trent Wofford's not even on the roster anymore, is he?
I believe not.
Yeah. So to get 2 young bigs who have showed promise, who have showed something in the league already, I think is a W for the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah, man. Hey, all I know is that Portland, one of the league pass teams of this year, that means they're gonna be fun, but also trash. But hey, trash in a good way. So good for them. Just a fun 30-win team. Hey, that's all we can ask for right now. They're gonna be a fun 30-win team for sure.
A little 30-win team that's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah. Just pop on Stream East on a random Tuesday night, looking around the league, and you see the Blazers play. I'm like, hey man, I want Scoot play. I want Scoot and them boys play.
Sure.
Hey, let me sit down and watch. So they're gonna be that type of team for sure.
Especially if they're playing another young rebuilding team, I'll be tuning in.
They're playing the Spurs.
If they're playing like the Pistons, that's like must-see TV.
Oh, dude. Nice.
Shoot, like when you look at the entire league, like you could have a reason to watch like every single team. Every team has some high young talent for sure. Well, except maybe Washington, but at the same time, Jordan Poole's there now. So
Jordan Poole might be something this year.
And if you're a true sicko, Denny Advia, who I'm expecting to take a huge leap this year, that he's a young player too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a case to watch every team this year actually, because even Houston might be better with all the money they spent. Spurs with Wemby,
Charlotte got LaMelo. Utah, like you said, man, they have a young movement going on with marketing in them too, in them boys too. So hey,
the most unwatchable team right now. The most unwatchable team right now might be the Toronto Raptors.
True.
You don't like Dick?
Not when you phrase it that way. Not when you phrase it.
All I said is, bro. All I asked you is if you like Dick or not.
Yeah, when you phrase it that way, nah. But if you put his first name in front, then yes.
But answer the question: do you like Dick?
I like Grady Dick.
Yeah. Okay. Do you like Dick?
All right, let's move on to the next segment. What was the next segment, Dibo?
Let's move on to NFL. Let's move on to the NFL. Obviously, same as before. Week 4 winners and losers from over this past week. We're just gonna go around right now. So we're gonna start with our winners. And Matt, do you want to start us off?
I have a winner. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I haven't watched him. I haven't watched any of their games. Actually, this Sunday is the first time I plan to watch them.
Then why do you have him as a winner? I think I know who you're coming from. I think I know who it is.
Yes.
I think I know who it is.
Yes.
Quarterback.
It is a quarterback. Yes.
Got him. I know exactly. Richardson, AR-15.
No, it's not Anthony Richardson. You're on the right path, though. It's a different rookie QB. It's CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud. Okay.
I had to fill out the CJ Stroud apology form. Prior to the season, I wasn't high on CJ Stroud. I'll be honest. I mean, I said it on this podcast that preseason test heavily weighed on me for some reason, and because of that, I disliked. Not that I disliked CJ Stroud. Like, I just didn't think he would be the player that Houston wanted him to be. And through 4 weeks, I've been completely wrong. He's been phenomenal. He's been a leader for this team as a rookie. He's wearing that captain's badge like he deserves it. And he's playing some phenomenal football. I mentioned I haven't been watching a ton of them or at any of them, to be honest. But he's been playing so good that I'm already filled out my schedule to the point where I'm watching them this weekend.
Yeah, we love to see it. We love to see it. And with the offense too, I said it before, but shout out Tank Dell, Nico Collins. He had a great game against the Steelers. Damian Pierce is, getting along as the season progresses. And also, I like to give a big shout out to Bobby Slovic, their offensive coordinator. He was previously with the 49ers for the past couple of years now. And man, you look at that entire unit for this Houston team offensively. You got a lot of playmakers. Obviously, they have the franchise quarterback for the time being. They have the play caller in Slovic, and they're going to be a very good unit for years to come in that AFC South division and in that conference in general.
Yeah, I have a stat right here. It says CJ Stroud has thrown for the second most yards by a rookie through his first 4 games in NFL history. So I think the Texans being where they are right now, being 500, I don't think a lot of people had them being there, if any, at all before the season. So for them to be performing they are this far into the season is really impressive.
For sure, dude. He's looked really good from what I've seen, which has been little
Absolutely.
because the Texans don't get a whole lot of national games.
Yeah. But
Man, they should be getting way more than the Giants, bro. Jesus.
100%, bro. I'm tired of watching.
That team is garbage, man.
Danny Dimes.
That team is garbage, bro. They
10
played,
sacks, bro.
man. They've played prime time the first 3 games of this year to start off the season. I don't know why the NFL did that. Horrible decision by the schedule makers. They all should be fired for that. No one asked to watch Daniel Jones on primetime this many times. I am sorry, but it is what it is. But I'll just keep it. Like at there for now, because I'm sure one of us has the Giants as major losers for this week. I am 100% certain. I'm
That means it's
100%
you.
certain.
I'll play.
no, I guess Dibo has Giants as losers.
Yeah, for real.
Y'all don't got the Giants?
Nah.
I had a different
I have a player from the Giants. If that
Evan Neal?
counts, I have a player.
Evan
Yeah.
Neal? Okay. Oh wow.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But Owen, go on with your winner.
My winner is going to be the Detroit Lions. And sports in Detroit are looking up, dude. I was watching that game last Thursday, and dude, the Lions, holy cow, they're looking good, dude. Jared Goff's looking like a very solid quarterback. I mean, 210 yards, not anything too crazy, but him throwing to David Montgomery, crazy combo, dude. Crazy. And then you got Jerry Jacobs on the defensive end, racking up 2 INTs this past week. Dude, granted they're only playing Green Bay, which Green Bay's not really that good, if we're being real. But they're looking like a really, really good team in the NFL right now. And so they're my winner.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Owen, on that one. The Lions, they made a big statement during that Thursday night game. At Lambeau, of course, playing one of their biggest rivals in the Green Bay Packers, and for you to just completely dominate over the course of the game, especially with the running game, David Montgomery leading the way. Defensively, they're really solid, led by guys like, of course, Aiden Hutchinson, Brian Branch, which he was one of my big guys coming out of this draft class as well. Just key guys on that side of the ball. I just think especially defensively, if they can keep becoming, an above average unit, man, like I said before the season started, Detroit, they're gonna make a lot of noise this year in the entire league. And I think for the majority of us fans and media people, I think that they're proving us right with all the hype we gave them this offseason.
No, for sure. They've definitely backed it up, even without arguably one of their best defensive players in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Obviously, he tore his pec earlier in the year. But I think that the Panthers' upcoming schedule kind of provides a good test for them, and we're really going to see what they're built out of. Like, they play the Panthers this week. Panthers are 0-4, so I expect them to win at Ford Field. I think that's the name of the Lions Field.
Yes.
Home stadium.
Detroit.
But after that, they're on the road in Tampa. Tampa's not an easy one this season. On the road after that in Baltimore. Then you get back home and you play the Raiders before you go back on the road again to play the Chargers and Justin Herbert. So I think these next 4 weeks provide something exciting for the Lions. I think it's a challenge. I think that we've seen this defense be much better than they were last year throughout 4 weeks of the season so far. And I think that if they can keep that up after this schedule, then the defense looks pretty legit. And then the Lions can walk away with something happy. But to Owen's credit, they've looked phenomenal to this point of the season.
For sure.
And before I get on to my winner, I just want to say one more thing. To every fantasy football owner this year that has Jahmyr Gibbs rostered on their team, but we don't care. The Lions, Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, they don't care about your fantasy team. And like Yahoo, Sleeper, ESPN, they don't care. Like for any rookie running back, especially for a non-bell cow back like Jahmyr Gibbs, how would you expect them to use him for like these big game touches, like 20, 25 touches a game? Like that's unsustainable. That's coaching malpractice for a young player, especially for a young running back. You're supposed to ease the guy into the league, especially for a guy like him in this position. Like, for example, with the Panthers, they got McCaffrey a few years back, right? And as a rookie, during his whole entire rookie year, he was limited with his snaps and touches. And obviously, as his career progressed, he became the McCaffrey that, of course, all fantasy owners love to this day. So, with that being out the way, like, just let Montgomery cook. He's going to be the bell cow for the time being. Jahmyr Gibbs, he's going to be the more explosive back, the more scat type of back here and there. You get some more explosive plays here and there, in certain moments of the game. And it's called a day. Because already as it is, the Lions' rushing attack is already one of the best in the entire league, and their entire offense is one of the best in the entire league. So why would they why would they change it just because you need to win in your fantasy league? Why would
Dibo, you said McCaffrey. I think you can go to even a current year example with the Falcons and Bijan Robinson. I mean, Bijan Robinson coming out of Texas was one of the what do you want to say, highest touted recruits, highest potential guys coming out of the draft, and we saw week one. Tyler Algier was out carrying him in touches. Tyler Algier was getting more touches than him, and I mean, sure, last week Bijan got more touches than him, but through the 3 out of the first 4 weeks, Tyler Algier was getting more touches than Bijan Robinson in the running game. So to your point, like, what we continuously see, what we have notoriously seen in this league is that the rookie running backs, whatever talent they have, and although they are talented, they're always going to be eased in. You could have a generational product like Bijan Robinson, he'll still get eased in. And so when you already have a guy the caliber of David Montgomery, who's been an RB1 in this league for the last 3-4 years, it almost makes sense to keep him as an RB1, especially when he's getting 3-4 touchdowns like he did on Thursday night.
Man, I don't want to use fantasy talk with convos like these, but man, that pissed me off. I would admit, I do want to admit it, but it's not like to the same extent of Jahmyr Gibbs owners, because I used to have Montgomery on my team, and last week I lost my last week, of course, man, we're both in the same sleeper league, in the same sleeper dynasty league, and I left Montgomery on the bench because I didn't think he'd play on that Thursday night game, but he did, and he got 30 points, and that lost me that week. So I'm kind of pissed about that.
Can we talk about something else, though? Can we talk about how the week before, week 3, last week, or no, 2 weeks ago, I guess at this point, You put up what, like 160 points,
Yeah.
165 points, and you narrowly beat me out by like 5 or 10. And then next week you decide to put up 87 points.
Hey,
Just
matchups matter.
basically
That's
do your
how,
plan.
bro. But that's how fantasy football goes, man.
That is how
You never
fantasy
know.
football works.
You never know. I think for my team, I told them that, hey man, it was gonna be a big game, a very big game. We were gonna go up against arguably the best player in the entire league, the best team in the entire league, and Matt. So, hey, I told him we were gonna be in it for a fight. It was gonna be a long, hard fight, and of course, it obviously was. So the week after, of course, it was a trap game. So hey, we'll take that on the chin, and we'll just keep it moving.
That's fair. That's fair.
There you
Dibo,
go.
who is your winner for the week, though?
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go with a defensive player for this week, and that is going to be corner from the Seattle Seahawks, Devon Witherspoon.
There you go.
Bro, man, that
What a
that
player.
that brother had himself a game. Oh my god. Dude, I'm gonna read his stats real quick. 7 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 pass deflection, and lastly 1 INT, which obviously that was the game sealing pick 6 that he got off Daniel Jones in the red zone. Dude, oh man, the man was everywhere. Big explosive splash plays throughout the game. Him coming off the edge, him being a pest in that slot position, in that secondary alongside Tariq Woolen. And I had a lot of, I put a lot of stock in Devon Witherspoon heading into this year. I think that him alongside Christian Gonzalez, they were the clear cut two corners in the entire draft, and to me they were 1A and 1B. Witherspoon being 1B, but that man is man. You put him alongside a guy like guys like Tariq Woolen, like I said before, Jamal Adams, which obviously he's gonna come back soon. Prayers up to him with his concussion, but still, other guys too with Julian Love. That man, he could potentially get this Seahawks secondary to becoming one of the better secondaries in the entire league, an elite secondary, I might add.
Yeah. You look around the league, especially right now with prior to the season, we probably had the Cowboys as the best cornerback duo with Trayvon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore, but right now it's probably the Jets with DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. And I don't know. I mean, this is obviously off the top of the head, but second right now might be the Seattle Seahawks. I know on Monday night they kept on comparing it to the Legion of Boom. I don't know if it's Legion of Boom caliber in the sense that Richard Sherman was the top 1 corner at that time with Earl Thomas, with Ken Chancellor. I don't know if you have that high end talent, but I think for how young they are and what they've already done, I mean, Tariq Woolen was probably the second best corner that came out of last year's draft class outside of Sauce Gardner.
Yeah.
And then you have Witherspoon right now, who's probably the best corner to come out of this draft. Obviously, Christian Gonzalez is done for the year, so it's basically him and Brian Branch.
Sadly,
sadly,
that's
I agree.
unfortunate.
I agree. But you have 2 very young, enticing corners. The pass rush is starting to get home. We saw them get what was it, 6 sacks on Monday Night Football, or
No, it was way more. It was way more.
They got a ton of sacks on Daniel Jones.
10.
It was
10.
Yeah, 10 sacks.
Sorry, I was thinking about how many sacks Khalil Mack got. But yeah, the pass rush is getting home. The corners are playing great. As Dibo mentioned, the pick 6 to basically seal the game when the Giants were starting their comeback drive. Just timely plays and huge plays when it mattered the most. And so for that reason, Witherspoon is a huge winner.
Absolutely, man. Hey, we love it when a prediction comes true. We love to see it.
100%. That's the best feeling. It's the best feeling.
For sure.
Makes me happy, makes me smile every time, man. But,
as it should.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on to our losers for week 4. Matt, you want to start us off again?
Yeah, I'll start us off. Losers. I have the New England Patriots.
Yep.
Maybe we should make a
your
reel
team?
about this. Maybe we should make a reel about this, considering the last time I talked about the Patriots, we got 66,000 views or whatever,
And counting.
and counting. But for the Patriots, man, I don't know if you guys were able to watch that game, but it just looked awful. Mac Jones obviously had 2 interceptions. He had 150 yards passing, and that was it on the day. It basically felt like they were out of this game from the first quarter. Like, it felt like after the first quarter, you could have turned off the TV and it didn't matter. Rushing attack never got going. They gave Zeke the RB1 carries because he was back in Dallas. But he could never get it going. Ramondre struggled. Ramondre averaged like 2 yards a carry. So it wasn't really enticing for either team. And then for me, I know I've talked about this with Dibo quite a bit. I don't know if Debo's going to be able to turn on his mic or come back.
There
But
he is.
I've been telling Debo,
My
like,
bad. My fault.
I've been telling Debo, when is the Bailey Zappi time? When is the Bailey Zappi time? I told him I like Bailey Zappi more than Mac Jones. We saw some Bailey Zappi minutes. It didn't look great. To be fair, neither quarterback looked great in this one for the Patriots. They did say going forward their quarterback will be Mac Jones. But I don't know if the Patriots are going to go 4-13 as I predicted, but I really don't understand their direction at the moment, and that's kind of the problem. Like,
no, I mean,
Little team.
go ahead, Debo.
and it's been like that for the like since Tom Brady left too, and especially on the offensive side of the ball, like there is no explosiveness to the entire roster by far. I mean, I do like Ramondre Stevenson a lot, but you look at the rest of those skill positions. I mean, they got Zeke. He has been playing well with running the ball efficiently. The wide receiver core, the worst in the league.
Yeah.
Well, no, one of the worst in the league. That worst title goes to Carolina for sure. But the Patriots wide receivers, Juju, Devontae Parker, Kenny Bourne,
yeah,
Bo Douglas, Keyshawn Boot, like it. Those are names that they're not gonna shock you. They're not gonna when a team looks at their matchup for a specific week, they're like, yo, we're not afraid of these guys. We're not worried about these guys because they're not game changers at all. Like Mike Gesicki, okay, Hunter Henry's a solid tight end, but still, like I said before, none of these offensive weapons pop out to you at all. And I think that, with their front office management over the years, especially with Belichick, I just think that with them ignoring that side of the ball and just only hitting on defensively, only hitting on defense, that has hindered this Patriots team from even potentially making the playoffs consistently.
Well, but that's what I would argue is the problem, and that's why I would argue that they're losers. Is like the inability for them to take a step back. I feel like they're following in the Broncos' footsteps almost.
Well,
right?
That's not good.
No, it's not good, and that's why they're a loser.
Yeah.
But like, what year did the Broncos beat the Panthers? Was it 2014?
2016.
2016. The Broncos lost a quarterback in Peyton Manning, right? And they continue to try to make the playoffs. They continue to try to have their to try to make a push for the offseason. And as a result, they were always the 6, 7, 8 win team, right? And because of that, they never were able to get a high draft pick. So they were stuck drafting guys like Paxton Lynch and Drew Lock and stuff like that. And similarly, I think the Patriots find themselves in a similar situation where, like, look, we had Tom Brady for what, like 20 years, let's call it. We had basically 2 dynasties in that time. And we lost him, and we tried to draft Mac Jones. I personally don't think Mac Jones has worked out. Hold on. Here's the thing. People always say, oh, Mac Jones is a Pro Bowler quarterback, yada, yada, yada. Tyler Huntley is a Pro Bowler quarterback. That doesn't mean shit to me. Derek Carr is a Pro Bowler quarterback. At the end of the day, if we look at the AFC quarterbacks and we look at Tua, Josh Allen, we look at Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Mac Jones is not even in the same world.
Right. Don't even talk about them in the same level, dude.
Exactly. They're not
True,
even in
yeah.
the same revolution. And
Yeah.
so for the Patriots to consistently try to make these like offseason signings of Hunter Henry, of Mike Gesicki, of Zeke Elliott, of Juju Smith-Schuster, to always try to make this like competition. Oh, we're going to get in the wild card. Like, no, just tank for a year. Get Caleb Williams, and then you can start rebuilding. Bill Belichick will always have a good defense. If you can finally find a quarterback, then you'll be fine. But they're so stuck in this, like, we have to be decent now. And that's what I don't understand. The inability to take a step back and realize, like, look, Mac Jones just isn't the quarterback. We drafted him 15th overall. You know, he had a good season. He made the Pro Bowl for us. We made the playoffs one year. Sure, we got killed against Buffalo, but we made the playoffs. But if you take a step back, hey, we have Christian Gonzalez, this young, enticing corner who's going to be the cornerback one for years. We have Ramondre Stevenson, who's this good young running back.
Mm-hmm.
If we could have a young quarterback, then we can finally maybe build something towards the future. But they're stuck in the present.
Hey, don't forget about Kyle Duggar, Josh Uche, guys like that. Yeah, on that Patriots defense. Those are young dogs too.
Who's the Hawaiian linebacker? You know who I'm talking about?
I believe so, but my mind's blanking right now. It's blanking. My mind is blanking.
Oh,
but,
even Cole Strange. Cole Strange was the positive pick by them.
Right. But as a rebuttal to your point, Matt, NFL teams tanking, they don't want to do it. I know we like to compare the NFL to right, but I know we like to compare to I know we like to compare the NFL to the NBA, you know, a lot, but at the same time, when you look at the NFL, the players, their career spans are shorter. The owners, they want to win. They want to win now consistently. The coaches, they have a way shorter leash. And with all those elements being put together, I just think that every week there are no team. There's no team in the entire league that would be like, "Hey, man, we were not gonna try. We're just gonna throw the season away. We're gonna put the season away." Unless there's a very serious injury that happens to, let's say, a quarterback or even like multiple key players, that is never gonna happen. These players, these coaches, they put too much film in. They put too much work in during practice. In their career lifespan is too short to just be tanking. I'm sorry, but it won't happen.
No. That's fair. That's fair because that's how reality is. That's how reality is. And I'm obviously lucky to talk about it from like a podcasting position. But from a podcasting position, I can look at them and say the ceiling of a Mac Jones team is what, 500? 500 you're sneaking in as a wild card, if that. And that's your ceiling. That's your ceiling. So if you're like a responsible GM and coach, it might be a better view to tank. Now I understand what you're saying because we saw situations with the DeMar Hamlin and stuff like last year. Like football is just too valuable. It's too vulnerable of a sport to just go out there and intentionally try to lose. Like if you're on the field, you have to try to win because it's literally life or death out there. But I think from a podcasting position, I think that they should be rebuilding. I think that they should be trying to go after a Caleb Williams because I don't think Mac Jones is the answer. And I think we've seen enough of Mac Jones to understand that. That's why I'm like such an advocate of Bailey Zappi. Like, do I think Bailey Zappi's the answer for them? No. But I've also seen Bailey Zappi go like, what was it, 3-1 or 2-1 with them, to where it's like, hey, Bailey Zappi might not be better than Mac Jones, but there's a chance if you play him that you might have more success and he might be able to replicate that Tom Brady form of just checking it down and stuff.
Oh, come on.
No, like the dump, the check down and dumps, like because that's what the Patriots offensive system is right now.
All right, my fault. I thought you know.
I wasn't trying to hate on
Brady. Hey man, we have a well-known Brady hater here. You know, as part of the main trio. So
hold up. You know what's funny though? Mm-hmm. Prior to the season, I was so close to having the Buccaneers winning the division, and my reasoning was going to be like, Look, Tom Brady won the division last year, and we know Tom Brady wasn't good. I think Baker can be better than Tom Brady. That was my reasoning, and I was this close to saying it. And then we hopped on the pod with preseason predictions, and I was like, no, I have the Buccaneers tied for last. So
Yeah, I mean, hey, man, shout out to Baker in the Bucks right now. I mean, I don't think Mayfield is, I don't think he's not playing on the same caliber level as Brady, even in his last year playing, but still, he's been solid enough to win them games, and with the veteran leaders they have on both sides of the ball for that team, it's paying off.
nah, he playing better than Brady. He playing better than Brady.
I do not want to have these combos with you. We're gonna save these for another
We
day.
won't. But Owen, who's your loser for the week?
My loser was the Miami Dolphins. And coming off a week where you put up 70 points just to go out there and put up 20, come on now. Now, granted, it's against the Bills, which are a far better team than the Broncos. There's no debating that. But, I mean, the Bills' defense is good. It's not elite, I wouldn't say. But to go out and put only 20 points up after dropping 70 with all the weapons that Miami has, it's just hard. It's hard to see. Hard to see. But now also, as I look here, the Dolphins, it doesn't really like the Bills kind of like the first really good team they've played. The next best team they've played is being the Chargers, who they almost lost to. I don't know.Maybe we need to think about
Wait.
or recheck our statements.
No, wait. Are you calling the Dolphins frauds?
I could be.
No way. No. I mean,
I wouldn't call them frauds, but I understand where Owen's coming from. Because Owen hit the exact point that I was going to hit. And it's not that the Dolphins are frauds per se, but the one time that the Dolphins went against another team that we would consider a championship contender, they did not look up to the par. And so I understand why Owen has them as a loser. Because when you look at the AFC and you look at contenders, Bills are on that sheet, and the Bills wiped the floor with them.
Yeah.
So
50.
I mean, yeah,
right. Right, and at the same time, we gotta give massive props to the Bills. I mean, I think they were the clear underdogs in this game, even though, like talent wise, they matched pretty well with Miami, and we saw that throughout the game. I mean, their defense completely neutralized that Miami offense. They stopped their motion with Tyreek Hill coming out from that formation, from these formations where he has these quick, sharp turns into his routes, which, as we've seen before, to start the season off, a lot of teams had problems with that. But with the Bills, shout out Josh. No, sorry, not Josh. Sean McDermott. Shout out Sean McDermott and that Buffalo defense. They were able to neutralize that with these cover two looks. Then be able to press these Dolphins receivers, be able to throw them off their game, be able to get to Tua as well in passing scenarios. Then being able to stop the running game as well, even though Devon Achane, he still had a very solid game with his limited touches, but with this defense and this entire Buffalo team as a whole, hey man, a lot of people written this Buffalo team off with what we last saw them in that playoff game against Cincinnati in that divisional round game. But with Josh Allen being the QB that he is, an early MVP candidate to start the year off, and with Stephon Diggs, with their James Cook being such a presence in the running game early, and if defensively they can withstand the loss of Trey White, who's out with an Achilles injury, they're going to be back in that position to be a Super Bowl contender, to be one of the elite teams in the NFL by far.
100%. Speedy recovery to Trey White. Hope he gets well soon because he is one of the best corners in the game, and you hate to see him go down. But outside of that week one, I don't know what you want to call it, breakdown or debacle or whatever you want to call it.
They were shocked by Aaron Rodgers going out.
Yeah, what did he have? Did he have 3 or 4 picks in the first week? I think it was
I believe it was
yeah,
three.
yeah.
3. Since that, they won the second week by 28 points. They won week 3 by 34 points, and they won week 4 by 28 points. Since losing in week 1, they've absolutely dominated every team. The Bills have looked immaculate. Josh Allen, I don't know if he's in MVP form, but he's heating up. The defense is playing well under Sean McDermott. Obviously, Leslie Frazier isn't the DC anymore. It's Sean McDermott making the calls, and they've looked like a well-oiled unit. So they look like a force to be reckoned with in the AFC.
Absolutely.
Shout out to Bills, man.
Dibo, who's your loser for this week?
My
the
loser.
I already know.
Yeah. Obviously, we already said it before we did this, but I'm going to go with Evan Neal, offensive tackle for the New York Giants. And with Evan Neal, of course, there was mass hysteria involving him and his comments about critics of the team following their 1-3 start. And I have a quote that he said.
Hold on. Can I guess this quote? I think I heard it. Was it something about like? It was something about the people who saying I can't block aren't doing anything. Basically, they're just watching on the couch. Was that it?
You're getting there, but it's not to that same extent.
Go ahead with the quote.
Okay, so with this quote, he said, "Why would a lion concern himself with the opinion of a sheep?" He then continues,
Wow.
"The person that's commenting on my performance, what does he do? Flip hot dogs or hamburgers somewhere?"
That's what it was. It was flip hot dogs and hamburgers. That's crazy.
Dude, that's something the most stuck up person in the world would ever say, dude.
And bro, and it's even more bad, with the fact that he's been trash this year. I'm sorry, but it's what it is. He's been really bad this year. Statistically one of the worst tackles in the entire league by far. I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen that one clip of him blocking Darren Waller on that Giants line with that play in that Monday night game. And that's just a microcosm of how bad he's been as a tackle, especially with him being such a high draft pick coming out from Alabama. And, man, as a player, you can't attack the fans, especially when they're critiquing the team, when they're playing super poorly. You can't do that. That's like one of the main things you can't do as a professional player. You can't attack the fans because, as Saquon stated in an interview he did today, the Giants fans have been there before he played for the team, and they will be there after he played for the Giants. It is what it is. You can't go after the fans because they spent too much time, too much energy, and especially too much money, of course, for supporting these teams over the years. So whenever Giants fans, even other teams' fans, they criticize their team for poor play, poor performances, it's justified. It is justified, and that's just fair criticism because they care about this team. The fans, they are the heart and soul of a team. This entire community, it's the entire heart and soul of a franchise. They are what keeps a team moving as a unit throughout all the years. And so for Evan Neal, I understand he apologized about that, but with his comments, that was a very stupid thing for him to do, especially in this scenario. You do not, and even especially in a market like New York, because every time they mention his name with these media publications, especially when he plays bad, they are going to mention what he said every single time. It's going to stick with him throughout his entire career.
Live that down.
Never. The New York media is going to, bro, they're already tearing him apart as it is. They are cooking this man. They are cooking this man right now.
Serve some right, man. You don't say something like that.
No, and that's just his fault. That's his fault. That's his fault.
Yeah. Good players take accountability for their actions on and off the field.
Can I say something?
Go for it.
This eerily reminds me of another New York Jets player, and Zach Wilson from last year.
Oh no, it's Jets. Never mind. Yep.
Jets from last year.
Yep.
If you remember, after the Jets lost, I think it was 9-3 against the Patriots. Zach Wilson was asked like, do you blame yourself for this loss? And he was basically like, nope, not at all.
No.
And which is funny because Zach Wilson was blaming himself for the fumble against the Chiefs, which every quarterback blames themselves after they have a good game and lose, I've noticed.
Yeah.
But I say it reminds me of Zach Wilson because, as we mentioned, the Giants O-line surrendered 11 sacks to the Seahawks on Monday night. I have a stat here. It says that the New York Giants offensive line has allowed 18 sacks in the Giants' first 2 home games, which is the most by any team in the first home 2 games since sacks started being tracked. Which is a pretty significant stat. And for him to basically be, as Dibo mentioned, this high draft pick, number 7 overall. Obviously, the team invested a ton of draft capital in you. They invested a lot of time and energy into you. And for them to have no results, for Daniel Jones to consistently be under pressure, and for Andrew Thomas, who was out on Monday night, to be out, you're supposed to be looked at as the opposing tackle, as the opposite side tackle, to kind of take over and lead that offensive line. And you did the complete opposite. And yet your remarks and your quotes after the game suggest that you want to take no accountability for it. So I think that's the more concerning thing. Like, sure, they gave up 11 sacks, but like, if he gives up 11 sacks and he goes to the media and he's like, yeah, I have to be better. You're absolutely right. That's unacceptable. That's one thing. But for him to be blocking Darren Waller, who's his own teammate, to be giving up sacks, to be giving up strip fumbles, and then basically go to the media and accuse the fans and basically say like, oh, well, what are you doing? Like, that's not the right way to handle the situation.
No, not at all. And I absolutely agree with you, man. It's just a poor situation for him. As a young player in this league, but hopefully he'll learn from this as he progresses throughout his career.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
all right, let's get into our predictions for the week.
Yeah, but y'all, do y'all hear that sound, man? It's like typing.
Oh, that's me. My bad.
Bro doing homework while he's on the pod.
Come on, bro.
No, I'm doing research for football.
Researching everything, man.
Nah.
Damn, the Bears are up 17-0 right now.
I know.
Yeah, I'm looking at through my phone right now, bro. Hey, man, bro, I was this close to starting the Commanders defense this week, bro. I was this close. I switched it out today though, so.
Hey, don't count the Commanders out though. They came back from 21-3 already this year.
Yeah. So what's our predictions for tonight, boys?
Prior to the game, my bet said Commanders, but as of right now, it might be Bears.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bears as well.
I'm gonna still take the Commanders. Nice one.
Hold on. Can we get into a new segment of the show? Can I bring a new segment to the show?
New segment?
Oh,
it's called Matt's Lock of the Week. And I'll bring one game.
I like this one.
Ooh, please.
Let's hear
it. It's one game. I was thinking about bringing 3 games. I asked you guys for consideration. Do you guys think I should bring 1 or 3 games?
I think 1 because that's a lock. You know, you got to have the one lock.
My lock of the week is Dolphins at home against the Giants. Back at home after a loss. The Giants have a shorter week since they played on Monday. I think Dolphins will be better equipped. Obviously, they do have a little bit of a longer preparation. Winning teams after a loss are significantly better, especially when they're well coached, like a team with Mike McDaniels as the head coach. And I think Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips might be able to get home quite a bit, as we previously mentioned with that atrocious Giants offensive line. That's now missing their starting center.
And don't forget, they're already missing Andrew Thomas as it is. So.
As well. He didn't play Monday night. Yep.
Nope, he didn't.
So lock of the week is Dolphins.
Yeah, that's a pretty good lock then, Matt. I gotta agree with you.
I'm liking the sound of that as well.
It's lock of the week.
Mm-hmm. But let's go throughout the rest of the week too with our predictions. And to start off, we're gonna go with the London game for this week. Jaguars, Bills. Who do you got for that one?
Bills. Bills by
I got Jaguars, and it's
a
going to be a
mile.
travel loss for the Bills. If this was a normal game in the States, I'd take the Bills. But since Jaguars were in London last week, they don't have to worry about traveling, basically spending a day on travel. I think that they're going to win this game.
I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars as well for that same exact reason, Matt. The Jaguars obviously they've been spending over a week in London. They played Atlanta, beat them too last week. And I think with these London games, these international games in general, just teams preparing for those set of games, they can get kind of tricky. And for me, with the Bills, obviously they came off a statement win against Miami, and heading into a different atmosphere this week against a team that's already been in that different atmosphere. I just think that's a bad combination for them. So I'm going with the Jaguars for this one.
Yeah, I think that's good rationale. If it was in the States, I'd take the Bills. I do think that they are the better team.
Next game, Giants Dolphins. We already talked about that. We all got the
That's
Dolphins, I am sure.
Yep.
Next one, Panthers Lions in Detroit.
My Lions.
It's not going to be a segment for me, but I also have the Lions being a lock for this week against Carolina. Panthers absolutely putrid. Frank Reich looking like a horrible hire already. One of the worst offenses in the entire league by far. Pray for Bryce Young. He's going to need it going up against Aiden Hutchinson and them boys on that pass rush. It's not going to be a good game at all.
Is he back this week? Is he back this week?
Who is?
Bryce Young.
He's been back. He played last week against the Vikings.
I didn't know he was back against the Vikings. I thought Andy Dalton played against them.
Mm-hmm.
I saw they got a pick six though, basically like 99-yard pick six.
Yeah. All right. Next game, Ravens Steelers. Kenny Pickett will be back for this one. Tweaked his knee a little bit, but they say he's going to be ready to go for Sunday's game.
Ugly division game, but
yeah,
Ravens will win.
I think I'll take the Ravens too, especially coming off a win.
Yeah, I have Baltimore as well. Just, divisional game obviously is going to be very close, especially between these two teams in that division. But at the same time, both sides of the ball, Ravens are way too talented to match up against the Steelers to not win this game. So I'm going with the Ravens on this one.
I agree.
Next one, potential snooze fest of the week. We have Saints Patriots.
Oh,
who's home? I think Patriots are home. Yeah,
Patriots. Yes.
Ooh.
I'm actually gonna take the Patriots in this one. They're getting their second win.
I assume JC Jackson is playing this week.
He will. He most likely will play.
Interesting. I'm gonna say the Saints because I love to be a Patriots hater. But I could see the Patriots winning this one.
Okay.
Especially no Matt Judon.
Oh, yeah.
No Matt Judon.
Christian Gonzalez too.
Yeah.
Without Christian Gonzalez. But this game's not gonna be good at all. I mean,
no.
The over under on this game's gonna be 39 and a half. Like it could have been that as well, but 39 and a half. But for all my gamblers out there, for all my betting people out there, hit the under on that easily. That's free money. Yeah. But with my prediction, I'm going with New England. I just feel like with the Saints offense, especially with Carr's health, with that shoulder injury, going alongside that Pats defense with their pass rush, that's a horrible matchup for them. I think it's going to come down to the Patriots managing the clock and them being able to get enough plays offensively to squeak out a win on their home turf.
I'm gonna need a Saints win though. I'm gonna need a Saints win. Otherwise, them Patriots fans are gonna be back in my DMs.
Oh no, bro. Yeah, they're gonna come after you for sure. And which
Definitely.
no, for me, I think it's really deserved, in my opinion.
It's
It's
not
not.
even a bad take though. Saying they're going to get 4 wins because realistically, as of right now, Dibo, how many wins do you expect them to get?
Like 7.
That's 7, right? And my whole rationale for having them at 4 was because Aaron Rodgers was going to be there for the Jets. They beat the Jets by like 3 in week 2, or maybe 5. It might have been 5 because they got a safety. And that was with Zach Wilson starting in week 2. I think there was a serious take there that might be overshadowed by an injury. So we have to hope that they lose. For my
I'm not
credibility,
hoping.
for my
I'm
credibility
not
and
hoping.
ethos.
Man, I got faith in that Patriots team. I don't know why you don't. But moving on, Texans Falcons in Atlanta.
Oh, Texans. CJ Stroud gonna go off again.
I'll take the Falcons. No,
I'm
actually give me the Texans. Falcons traveling back from London, long weekend travel. Give me the Texans.
There you go.
This is kind of a toss-up game, but I think I'm going with the Falcons in this one. I just think they're more physical on both sides of the ball, especially offensively. I just think that it's going to be a real grinder of a game. Expect Bijan to be like again as he has been before to be a key contributor to this Falcons win as well. Desmond Ritter, he's not going to play well, but it won't matter. I think they're going to pull off this one at home, bounce back from their loss in London.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, Titans Colts.
Who's home?
Colts.
Colts are home. Give me the Colts then. No, actually, give me the Titans. Give me the Titans. I would go with the Colts, but I remember that Mike Vrabel is the coach of the Titans. A guy who has a ton of defensive pedigree, a guy who always typically has his way with rookie quarterbacks. So I think they might be able to control the time of possession with Derrick Henry, and I think he might be able to make Anthony Richardson a little uncomfortable.
I'm gonna go Colts.
That's fair. This is another toss-up game to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, divisional game. Vrabel, he schemes well against these type of offenses. It's going to be a very physical game from both sides. But with my pick, I'm going with Indy. I am on the Anthony Richardson train, and with this Colts offense led by him and Shane Steichen, their new head coach. I just think with their offensive firepower right now, they're gonna put enough points on the board to, with last this Titans defense led by Mike Vrabel. So give me Indianapolis.
Good take.
Okay.
What's the next
Next one? Bengals Cardinals in State Farm Stadium.
I will go with the Bengals. I'm not going to be that.
Bengals too. Yeah.
I'm not going to be that of a hot take merchant to pick the Cardinals.
Y'all got the Bengals?
Yeah.
Joe Burrow said that calf is feeling a lot better, so yes.
Hey man, I'm gonna be a contrarian. Ooh, I need to start using that word more often. But I'm gonna be different. It is a big word. Oh, thank you. But I'm gonna be different with this one. I'm picking the Arizona Cardinals to upset.
Don't say contrarian, just say hater.
Nah, it don't got the same twang to it. It don't got the same appeal.
Okay.
But for my explanation, this Cincy team, their offense, what are they doing? Zach Taylor, coaching malpractice with, still keeping Joe Burrow on the field. Well, we know he is not 100% healthy. We saw it last week. Vrabel was able to send these design blitzes to throw Burrow out of his game in the pocket, and Burrow fully healthy. Obviously, when teams blitz Joe Burrow and the Bengals, that's a death sentence because of how Burrow sees the field and how he can escape pressure and get easy quick reads off with his passing ability. But with that calf injury, that's not been the same. Obviously, their run game has been really poor with Joe Mixon, and I think with this John Gannon led Cardinals team, with them being a hard nosed defensive led team, they know what their culture is. They know what their identity is. Joshua Dobbs, he can make enough plays to at least keep the Cardinals in this game throughout. And with my X factor, keep an eye on Michael Wilson. Rookie tight end coming out of Stanford University. He played great against the Niners too as well. And I think with his pass catching ability, with those deep routes, his big play ability, I think that would be the difference for this Cardinals team.
Michael Wilson, the tight end?
Wide receiver.
Yeah, okay. I was about to say, I thought he was a wide receiver.
Yeah, right.
No, Cardinals isn't a bad pick because they've been competitive in basically every game this year.
Yeah, they sure have.
Well, except the Niners game, but I mean, it's the Niners. They're clearly the best team in the league.
Yeah.
All right, next few ones, starting with the Eagles Rams.
I'll go first on this one. I really want to pick the Rams, man. I really do, especially with Cooper Kupp coming back. I think I feel like they're begging me to pick the Rams.
Potential trap game.
It is a potential trap game. That's what I was just about to say. But I will pick the Eagles. The Eagles haven't looked good through 4 games, and yet they're 4-0. Key sign of a championship team, able to win games without looking good. The offense finally started to click last game. And I think with the Rams' offensive line, I think that pass rush is going to be able to get a Matthew Stafford. With the Eagles' defensive line. I think that pass rush will be able to get a Matthew Stafford. So I'll take the Eagles.
Yeah. Owen?
But I really want to pick the Rams.
I think I'll take the Eagles as well. They're just the better team, I guess. They're the better team. Cooper Kupp's going to take a bit to work back in.
Possibly. I mean, but the potential wide receiver trio of him, Puka Nacua, and Tutu Atwell, those 3 guys being able to find open spaces within the defenses, potential yards after the catch type of guys, that could be dangerous. That could be very dangerous.
Plus Kyron Williams.
Kyron Williams too. My fault, Matt. That's your guy as well. But for my pick, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles. This D-line, Philly D-line going up against that Rams O-line, that's going to be the key difference. And obviously, Philly, Jalen Carter, absolute stud. He could possibly be an elite defensive tackle already, even though he's a rookie, but that's how good he is right now. And they've been balling out to start the year off, and you add that alongside the Rams O-line not being as good to withhold that pressure, and with Matthew Stafford not being able to create outside the pocket, I just think that's a horrible matchup for that Rams team. Give me the Eagles.
Yeah, fair. Because same rationale, Dibo.
Man. All right, we got 3 more here, and Jets Broncos. That's the next game.
Jets, man. Jets. People are saying Broncos like the Jets didn't win this matchup last year in Denver. I think the Jets have a better roster than they did last year. I think Zach Wilson, if he plays the way he did Sunday night, is better than he was last year. Breece Hall is no longer on a snap count, which is a benefit to the Jets. Mm-hmm. And I think all signs are just pointing to the Jets in this one.
Amen. But to add on to that, even though sadly Breece Hall had that season-ending ACL injury last year, he was playing great before. He
was playing phenomenal
ACL
before.
Too. Had that big touchdown early in that game. But
like a 60-yard carry.
Mm-hmm. Owen, your pick for that game?
I'm actually going to take the Broncos. I think even though it was how do I say it? It wasn't supposed to be a comeback against the Bears, I think we definitely figured out a little bit of something in order to hold them effectively scoreless in the second half like we did.
Go ahead,
Hey
Dibo.
man. All right. Right, my turn. I have the Jets to win this game actually, and let me say something to Nathaniel Hackett. Are you a man? Because this is your but like, bro, this is your chance. This is your opportunity to prove Sean Payton wrong. Because all offseason, he was talking so much shit about you. He was talking all that shit. How you couldn't become a head coach in this league. How you weren't good enough to be even an offensive coordinator in this league. This is the week to prove him and that entire Broncos team wrong. This is the week, and with last week on Sunday Night Football against my Chiefs, that was a great game from you with their play calling. It was a lot better from you than weeks past with this Jets team, and even with your previous coaching career as a coordinator, of course. But I have faith in you to pull this off. I have faith in you, and I believe that with this extra motivation, you will deliver the goods this Sunday against that Broncos team. Give me the Jets. I think even potentially if Zach Wilson gets flustered by this, I mean, actually no, that Broncos defense is horrible. Vance Joseph, why you have a job? I'm sorry. That man's horrible. I'm sorry, Vance Joseph, but damn, that defense is possibly one of the worst in like historically ever in the entire league. But yeah, I think Zach Wilson will have another good game to keep his streak going. Brees Hall, like you said, Matt, he'll be unleashed, which I think that'll be a deciding factor for whoever wins this game. So give me the Jets.
I think this though. I think that last year's matchup was a little bit different. Because if you remember, I think this is really raw off the top of the head, but I think it was like maybe 13-3 or some crazy. It was a crazy low scoring game. The last time the Jets and the Broncos played, and you can say what you want about the Broncos defense, and whatever you say is warranted at this point because they've looked atrocious, giving up 78 points. Justin Fields looked like what everybody is hyped him up to be against the Broncos defense. So the Broncos defense might not have been the same as it was last year, but the offense is a lot better. And the offense, I think they put up single-digit points the last time they played the Jets. I don't think they're doing that again. The offense has looked better this year. You can confidently say that if you are a Broncos fan. But the defense hasn't looked as good, and that's why I think I have the Jets because the Jets on paper are one of the best constructed rosters as a whole. Defensively, they look very impressive, and then offensively, if they let Zach Wilson play the way he did Sunday, where he kind of has this freedom to throw it around, where on first down, it's no longer a guarantee that they're going to run the ball with either Brees Hall or Dalvin Cook. You kind of have this uncertainty with them and this unpredictability with their offense. So I do like the Jets in this matchup.
Yeah. Hey, yo, man, bro. Was that your music playing?
Okay, I was about to say, whose music is that shit?
Bro, I mean, I'll bro.
I heard that shit too.
I wanted Matt to finish that off, but bro, hey, chill, relax, man. Come on.
My fault. I was watching YouTube Shorts.
Focus, my boy. Yeah, focus.
Bro, I thought if he had one volume, we couldn't hear.
That's on me.
We could obviously hear it. Like,
that's
damn,
on me.
But
that's
hey,
I heard it too. I was trying to go along. I kind of lost my train of thought.
Dibo, edit that shit out.
Bro, hey man, shoot. All right, we got two more, then we out of here. It's the Sunday night game, Cowboys Niners, game of the week, obviously. What do you got for that one?
Niners.
Oh yeah, Ben said the Niners are the best team in the leagues. I'm gonna hold true to that. They are not losing.
Oh, and I picked up your boy in fantasy too.
Oh yeah,
I did pick up Big Cock Brock.
My
and
boy.
the other coach on the spot tried making a terrible trade for him.
Yeah.
A second rounder for a backup QB? Like, bro, what do you mean by that?
No, He's
was a fair trade.
the way people hyping up Brock Purdy this year, he's worth more than second round candidate or second round pick.
You
I heard
want a first for Brock Purdy?
People will be putting him in the MVP conversation.
He shouldn't be in the MVP conversation.
He shouldn't be in the
McCaffrey.
MVP conversation.
It should be McCaffrey. Man, why, bro? I hate the MVP voting nowadays. Like, it's just a QB award. It's a QB award. Like, show more love to the wide receivers. Show more love to the running backs. Show more love to the pass rushers, the defensive players.
But
I'm pretty sure when you look at like the betting odds for the MVP award, all of them are going to be quarterbacks. All of them, which is unfair.
Most likely. I'd assume the same. But Brock Purdy's a sneaky good backup in a dynasty league. At least compared to my other backup, who was Kenny Pickett.
Hey man. Hey man, it don't matter. Well, we keep moving along. But as for the Sunday night game, I'm going with the Niners as well, winning that. I just think it's going to be the exact same as last year in the playoffs. It's just them being too well coached, too talented on both sides of the ball compared to Dallas. I just think it's going to be too much for them to handle.
Dallas's red zone offense will be the problem. In
putrid. It is absolutely putrid. They can't score. They can't score at all.
They just like the Broncos. Speaking of the Broncos,
Shush.
just like the Broncos when it comes to the red zone.
They can't score, man. All right, last one. The Monday Nighter, Packers Raiders.
This is in Vegas, yeah?
Yes, it's in Vegas.
I'll take the Raiders.
See, I want to pick the Raiders because let's assume Jimmy Garoppolo health for this one.
Okay.
Assuming Jimmy Garoppolo health, I'll take the Raiders. David Bakhtiari, I think, is on IR at this point. Aaron Jones, obviously, he had his first. Actually, no. Let me get the Packers. I just realized that they played a game on Thursday last week. They have the mini bye. Thursday playing on Monday this week. Mini bye. Give me the Packers with a good coach, with the better coach.
Man, this boy pump faked, man. That's lame.
I hella did pump fake. You're right.
Yeah, that's a pump fake. Come on, that's a weak cop out. But
I was trying to talk myself into the Raiders, and I talked myself into the Packers.
Man, never trust a Josh McDaniels led team, man, in anything. But with that being said, I'm going to go with the Packers, man. Like I said before, Josh McDaniels on this Raiders team. Well, I don't understand it. But Matt LaFleur has had his coaching issues this year to start off, but I just think their offensive skill position players, and with them bringing back Aaron Jones into the mix and Christian Watson, both of those guys, alongside Jordan Love, who's been solid to start off the year, I just think it'll be too much for that Raiders team and their defense.
I concur. I do concur. As
Yeah.
A wise man once said.
Yes, sir. I don't remember what wise man, but yeah, he for sure said that.
Yeah,
For sure.
wise man.
A wise man did, in fact, say that at one point.
All
The
right.
wise man part might be questionable.
Very questionable. No, I'm kidding. You got it. But hey, another great episode in the books. You gotta wrap it
Another
up.
good episode in the books.
Got a game to watch, boys.
That game's not good. I'm gonna head to the gym. I'm gonna head to the gym.
27-3 currently.
Oh,
Sorry,
Exactly.
yikes. Can I recount?
Gym
Can
time.
I take the Bears now?
No, you can't. You already made your pick, unfortunately. But again, if you've watched this episode, thank you for the love and support. We appreciate your time. And to follow us on our social media pages on Instagram, TikTok, and I'm blanking out. Jeez.
YouTube.
TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you, man. They all have the handle at Lunch from the Bates. So please follow and subscribe on those platforms. We post daily there with our content, reels, highlights, the whole stuff. And so Thank you for your time, and we out of here.
Peace
Peace.
out.
Peace.